This is the new American Constitution. Eager undergraduates studying American constitutional development in the fall of 2022 engaged in a thought experiment and redrafted the original framers' Constitution.
My name is Lars Harold, and today we'll be discussing Article 1 of the Framers' Constitution. Article 1 deals primarily with the legislative branch of the United States government, dealing with the powers invested in it, as well as the powers of taxation, representation, and control of money.
I'm Abigail Barrett, and I will be discussing the different additions and changes that we made to Article 1 of the new American Constitution. So we did three bigger changes to the new American Constitution. I would say the biggest is we added the 17th Amendment into Section 3 of the new American Constitution. The 17th Amendment deals with the direct election of senators. We wanted to add that into Section 3 as Section 3 discusses the different roles of the Senate, how senators are elected, and what their specific duties are. We figured that this would be the best spot to place the 17th Amendment that was amended to the Constitution. Another major change that we did was we added the 16th Amendment, which deals with the collection of income tax. We added that into Section 8 of the new American Constitution. The reason why we added it into Section 8 is Section 8 deals with the role of the Congress in taxation. So we just implemented that Congress has the ability to collect income taxes of the American people. We added this because it is what economically supports the United States. It allows for a larger budget to be made, and there it adds to just the overall health financially of the nation as a whole. Another major change that we did was we added part of the War Powers Act of 1973 into Section 10 of the new American Constitution. We declared that Congress has the ability to declare war against foreign nations, and that is not any longer a sole responsibility of the executive branch. So this allows for more checks and balances in the different branches of Congress and the executive branch, so that one branch isn't heavier than the other. And we believe that that added sort of a balance to that area, a very important area. Those were the main big changes that we added. So a smaller change that we took out was we decided to remove the 3/5 language from Section 3 of the Framers' Constitution, as we don't believe it is relevant anymore, and we also don't believe that it is beneficial to form a more perfect union in our new American Constitution.
What did we not change, and why? The first of three things that we did not change for our article would be the House and Senate split in the Congress. We did not add both the House and Senate into one general Congress. We maintained the split because we wanted to maintain equal representation for both majoritarian states, ones that have a large population, and the minority states, which have a lesser population. In doing so, we hope to preserve American democracy and also its Republican roots, maintaining that pure democracy by itself isn't exactly balanced for all parties involved, and can sometimes give way to majoritarian rule. As such, we decided to maintain the split between the House and Senate. The second change that we did not implement was changing how each representative is elected. We maintained that House of Representatives must be at least 25 years old and a resident of their states, while also ensuring that Senates or senators, because they are of the higher house, must be at least 30 years old and residing in their state. This is because each of the houses in their respective power must have a representative that reflects that. Since the House, or the House of Representatives, is the lower house between the two in Congress, we maintain that the 25-year requirement is reasonable for that house, whereas the senators, because it has a higher degree of responsibility, must be at least 30 years old as opposed to 25. The third such change that we did not implement was the addition of a preamble for our article. Such a preamble might introduce bias from our behalf into what we hope is a more flexible interpretation of the document itself. We want to maintain that the document is applicable to future generations and not simply applicable in our current one. And as such, we decided that a preamble would hinder more than aid that desire in our part. And those were all 3 changes that we decided not to implement for Article Number 1.
I am Nathan Myers, and today I will be discussing with you what our new American Constitution will look like in 100 years if it survives. So unless we get hit by an asteroid, which we probably won't, but no guarantees, I'm highly probable that this new American Constitution that we envisioned will probably survive to the next 100 years. And the reason I say that is I look back at the history of our own Constitution, the Framers' Constitution, and going back 235 years to 1787, when the Constitution was originally created. And the Constitution is one of the oldest documents in the world, and the oldest living documents in the world. And 230 years, while small for the United States is a small, young nation, it is very old when it comes to its government. And looking at the Constitution, I can see that while there were some original issues, such as income tax, the 27th Amendment, such as dealing with compensation of representatives, and the 3/5 clause, we included those as well. But the Constitution itself is a very transparent document, and it's a very effective document when it comes to government.